Use the service module to manage the target system services using the required init system. For example, systemed. In its most basic form, all you have to do is provide the service name and the desired state. For instance, to start the SSHD service, use the module like this. You can also ensure the service starts automatically when the target system boots up by providing the parameter enabled, yes. As with the package module, the service module is flexible and works across different distributions. Firewalled. Use the firewall-d module to control the system firewall with the firewall-d daemon on systems that support it, such as Red Hat-based distributions. For example, to open the HTTP service on port 80, use it like this. You can also specify custom ports instead of service names with the port parameter. In this case, make sure to specify the protocol as well. For example, to open TCP port 3000, use this. You can also use this module to control other firewall-d aspects like zones or complex rules. Make sure to check the module's documentation for a comprehensive list of options. File. The file module allows you to control the state of files and directories, setting permissions, ownership, and SE Linux labels. For instance, use the file module to create a directory, app owned by the user Ricardo, with read, write, and execute permissions for the owner and the group users. Creating file. You can also use this module to set file properties on directories recursively by using the parameter recurse. Yes, or delete files and directories with the parameter state absent. This module works with idempotency for most of its parameters, but some of them may make it change the target path every time. Check the documentation for more details. Line file. The line in file module allows you to manage single lines on existing files. It's useful to update targeted configuration on existing files without changing the rest of the file or copying the entire configuration file. For example, add a new entry to your host's file like this. You can also use this module to change an existing line by applying the parameter regexp to look for an existing line to replace. For example, update the sshd_config file to prevent root login by modifying the line permit root login yes to permit root login no. Note: use the service module to restart the SSHD service to enable this change. This module is also idempotent, but, in case of line modification, ensure the regular expression matches both the original and updated states to avoid unnecessary changes. Blockin file. This module will insert, update, remove a block of multi-line text surrounded by customizable marker lines. Archive. The archive module creates a compressed archive of one or more files. By default, it assumes the compression source exists on the target. Unarchive. Use the unarchive module to extract the contents of archive files such as tar or zip files. By default, it copies the archive file from the control node to the target machine before extracting it. Change this behavior by providing the parameter remote_src, yes. For example, extract the contents of a.tar.gz file that has already been downloaded to the target host with this syntax. Debug. The debug module prints statements during execution and can be useful for debugging variables or expressions without having to halt the playbook. Template. The template module works similarly to the copy module, but it processes content dynamically using the Jinja 2 templating language before copying it to the target hosts. For example, define a message of the day template that displays the target system name, like this, #vim templates, mot. j2 Before copying the file, Ansible processes the template and interpolates the variable, replacing it with the target host system name. For example, if the target system name is RH8VM03, the result file is Welcome to RH8VM03. While the copy module can also interpolate variables when using the content parameter, the template module allows additional flexibility by creating template files, which enable you to define more complex content, including for loops, if conditions, and more. For a complete reference, check Jinja 2 documentation. This module is also idempotent, and it will not copy the file if the content on the target system already matches the template's content.